The black frame. It's an in-camera transition that you can use to add excitement and surprise to your videos. And I've got 4 tips here to help you get the best out of your black frame transition. But what is the black frame transition anyway? A black frame transition is when you cover up your camera lens at the end of one scene with your hand or some other object, and then you uncover your lens at the beginning of the next scene. And what this does is it makes it seem like your camera and you are being transported to an entirely different location. Or you can use it to show a different camera angle, or even change the subject matter in the same scene. And you've probably seen someone cover their camera lens on YouTube, but really there are infinite variations. You could use, a shirt, you could put your hat over the lens, you could walk into a wall, you could, cover it up with a giant panda bear. Really, the options are endless. So tip number 1, when you've got your black frame transition shot, you want to make sure you edit it for maximum effect. And the key to a good transition is speed. Your transition from light to dark to light again should all take place in a split second. It should be over before the viewer ever gets a chance to ask themselves, why has the screen gone dark? To get that really tight black frame edit, take your first clip, preview it, and preview the end of it. So look where the object covers the lens. And what you want to do is you want to go frame by frame through your video clip until the screen is completely black. Look for that first frame that is completely black with whatever object is covering it, and cut it. Now go look at your second clip, the one that starts dark and goes light. You're gonna go in a reverse action this way. You're gonna find where the object is not covering the frame, and then go backwards, frame by frame, and find that first place where the frame is completely black. Again, cut it. The best transition is gonna be where there's really just 1 or 2 frames of completely black frame. Hence the name, black frame. They don't call it black frames, they call it black frame. So compare these 2 examples of black frame edit. The first one is a really tight edit. You really just have a single black frame on the end of the first clip and a single black frame at the beginning of the second clip. And compare that to the second version, which is a much looser edit. The feel is very different, and I think tighter is better. Tip number 2, sound. The use of sound effects or even music can really help sell your transition. The first and easiest way to use sound is to simply use the thump when something hits your camera. Now, normally you might remove any camera handling noises such as these, but in this case, it can help the viewer understand what's going on. Here's an example of the thump actually being used in the transition. Be careful how you cut though, because you do want to cut the video right when the lens is completely covered. But the thump, if you want to use that as a sound effect, you're going to have the thump play out completely, which means that your video is going to be shorter than your audio. If you do cut that thumping noise in the middle of it, you're going to get a pop or a click. Most video editing software will allow you to adjust the audio length and the video length independently, like this. Tip number 3 is also a sound tip, but this time we're talking sound effects. If you watch a lot of how to make B-roll videos, you might find yourself automatically reaching for some whoosh sound effects. A whoosh makes sense if something appears to be moving through and past the camera. However, you have some other options. If you're doing a standard covering your lens with one thing and uncovering it again, you might try instead using a reverse hit. Now think about a drum hit, like a crash cymbal or a snare drum or something where it's a sharp attack and then decays, like psh. Well, if you reverse that, you're gonna get a sound like this. Tip number 4, music. Man, sound really factors into this, doesn't it? Try moving your music or the video clip so that the downbeat of a new section of music starts when the lens gets completely covered. This spot in the clip is where we would expect to hear the thump of the camera being bumped, and that's probably a good place to match up the beat. Transitions such as the black frame are a great way to keep the momentum going in your videos. And in this video right here, I show you how to make simulated film light leaks and lens flares, which can also be used to keep the momentum going. So check it out.